this kind of Europe is a Europe that hates her Christian roots. They made injustice and still hide the injustice that the Serbian people is living in Kosovo and Metohija.
Šta je za tebe Kosovo i Metohija?
It's a place where very, very beautiful monasteries such as Gračanica, Dečani, Gorjoč. There's a lot to learn from the Serbs of Kosovo. A lot of Roman emperors came from Serbia.
Kakav sistem vrijednosti vlada u italijanskom društvu?
People is conservative. Inteligencija is democratic and liberal.
Da li je Evropa i dalje hrišćanska?
Of course not, because of course they are against the Christian values.
Dogodine u Prizrenu. Gledate emisiju Kompas. Ja sam vaš domaćin Nebojša Lazić, a na naše veliko zadovoljstvo naš gost je italijanski humanitarac i veliki prijatelj Srba Enriko Pariđi. Enriko, hvala ti što se odazvao našem pozivu. Sproveli smo anketu na ulicama Beograda o stradanju Srba na Kosovu i Metohiji. Koliko se u Evropi priča, većina tvrdi da su usled medijske hajke na Srbe, većina nisu dobili prave informacije, da su Srbi satanizovani i da zato se i ne zna niti priča o stradanju hrišćanskog kulturnog nasljeđa. Naravno, kažu ljudi da postoji pojedinci poput tebe i mnogih drugih koji su zaista iskreni prijatelji našeg naroda i koji pomažu naš mnogostradalni narod na Kosovu i Metohiji. Koji je tvoj komentar na našu anketu?
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I'm very, very glad to be here and to describe what's my experience in Kosovo and Metohija. I can say that there is no interest in Europe to describe what is the real situation in Kosovo and Metohija, because European Union always tell us that because of the European Union, they've been 70 years of peace in Europe. And that's not the truth, because we can see what happened in the former Yugoslavia, not only in Bosnia, but of course also in Kosovo and Metohija, and what is still happening in Kosovo and Metohija. Why? Because European Union is always speaking about the protection of minorities in the European Union, like LGBT minorities, migrants minorities, and stuff like this, which of course can be a political view, but we can't hide what's happening in Kosovo. The Kurti government is very, very, I don't know what to say, but it has crazy policies with ethnic minorities in Kosovo. Especially, of course, with the largest minorities in Kosovo, with the Serbs, and they are pushing the Serbian population to go away from Kosovo, and it's a sign that this kind of Europe is a Europe that hates her Christian roots, hates its historical past, and that's why they want to not to describe what's the real situation with this Kurti government, which is a strong nationalist, but in a bad way, like in a way which consider the minorities a problem, and a problem to put away, to make the Serbs go away from their land, from their houses, and that's the problem, because it's an injustice. It's in Italy we say we have two measures for the same problem. Like there is a problem of minorities in Europe. I don't think so. There is a problem in Kosovo, and nobody is talking about it. So I think it's an injustice.
Šta je za tebe Kosovo i Metohija? Za tebe lično?
Personally, Kosovo and Metohija is a place where a lot of friends lives. So I'm always very glad to go back in the Serbian enclaves, and it's a place where very, very beautiful monasteries and cultural heritage stays. So it's of course it's personally speaking is a very very wonderful place. Of course, it represents also a wound for Europe, because as I told you before, it's a situation that Europe didn't manage well. Like they made injustice, and they still hide the injustice that the Serbian people is living in Kosovo and Metohija. So it's a place where the Europeans sustain the one who burned the churches, and not the one who want to defend the churches. Even if the Italian KFOR defended actually the monasteries, such as Decani monasteries and so on. So I think we have good relations with the Serbs in Kosovo. I think the Italians are well considered in Kosovo by the population. Is one of the nationality that is more sympathized with the Serbs. And I know a lot of a lot of people who have been in Kosovo with KFOR, and they told me the same stuff that I'm telling to you, that that monastery have to be protected, like by KFOR and by the Italians.
Enriko, a kada si ti prvi puta čuo za Kosovo?
In Italy, we don't speak so much about Kosovo. But I think it's a common stuff in all the Western Europe. We don't actually speak a lot about Kosovo. I think a lot of people don't even know where Kosovo is. But I don't think it's the right stuff, because Kosovo has very wonderful tourist place to visit, like monasteries, and also for wine, for example. There are a lot of stuff that a tourist can appreciate in Kosovo, and I think they should learn the history of the land and discover the peers of that land that are very 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 beautiful. But at the end, I have to answer to your question, we don't speak so much about the Kosovo matter, because as I told you before, we want to hide what's happening a bit.
Ali kako si ti čuo, kako si ti saznao za Kosovo?
First time I went in Belgrade, I met some Serbian friends who spoke me about Kosovo, and I was curious about discover what's happening there, and what if these monasteries were so beautiful as they were describing. So I was curious, basically. I discovered from my Serbian friends, and then I want to discover personally if it was true. And it was true, actually. So it was a beautiful surprise.
Kada si bio prvi puta i šta je tvoj prvi utisak o Kosovu?
Well, first you arrive in Pristina, which is not a very beautiful city, so it's a bit negative first impression, because you arrive to the Pristina airport, and then the first scene is the city of Pristina, which of course is not a very beautiful view. But then when you discover the communities of the Serbian enclaves, you discover a different Europe, what Europe was before the Americanizing of the society in Western Europe. You discover our roots, our common European roots, we can say. Like there's a lot to learn from the Serbs of Kosovo, concerning community, concerning Christianity, concerning values, concerning the resilience to resist to the difficulties, to the apartheid, we can say, to very very bad stuff they're suffering, and they are an example. So it's very very good first impression for the Serbs of Kosovo.
Koje si sve manastire posjetio?
Basically all the most important one, such as Gračanica, Dečani, Gorjoč, Sveti Arkangeli in Prizren. As I told you, there is this beautiful church in Prizren, Bogorodica, Ljevica. I can't pronounce it well, but that church in the center, or in the city center of Prizren, which is very, very astonishing, very, very beautiful. But even if it's under the UNESCO protection, it's in a very bad situation, and it's the dream of my life, like to help this church to be restored and to save the cultural heritage that are in it. The other monasteries are, of course, a heritage of old European people. Like, all Europeans should discover what's hiding in those monasteries, and also the spirituality of the Serbian Orthodox spirituality that are in those monasteries is something very, very ancient, very, very deep of our common roots. And we must protect it, of course. We can't let it disappear from Kosovo.
Svi smo vidjeli stradanje manastira i crkava na Kosovu. I zašto je to Kosovo, po tvom mišljenju, pokušalo da uđe u UNESCO ako uništava hrišćansko kulturno nasljeđe?
It's a hard question. They want to join the European institution in order to clean themselves, but the history speaks. Like, the past is clear. Like, what they did, it's not a matter only of what they did, because everyone in former Yugoslavia has his own maybe faults. They maybe there's something wrong in every point of view, but it's a matter of future. Like, what's going on in Kosovo? What's the institution of the Kosovo state are doing now? Are they real democratic? Are they protecting the minorities or the cultural heritage of the minorities? I think no. So what is going on the future? What is important to preserve? In order to accept those things, like Kosovo in UNESCO, we have to be clear. Like, if you want to join UNESCO, you can't let those monuments be destroyed, because the frescoes, for example, in Bogorodica in Prizren are destroying because they set fire to the church. They didn't restore the frescoes, so now they are destroying those frescoes. So it's important to preserve what is inside those monuments, and it's important to look at the future. Like, if you want to be a democratic state, and I don't think they will, because it's built on injustice,
state.
and they won't be democratic, and they won't do what I hope it will going on in Kosovo. So they must show that they can do something about it. But as I told you, I don't think they will.
Spomenuo si da su italijanski vojnici bili skloni Srbima da pomognu da zaštite srpske svetinje. Zašto misliš da su baš Italijani imali taj osjećaj?
I can speak about facts, because Italian troops preserved the Dečani monastery, for example. I spoke with the Igumen Otac Sava in Dečani. He told me that there are very good relations with the Italian KFOR in Dečani, and they are grateful for what they did in Dečani in the past years. And I spoke also with the Serbian population. Like, if they have a problem, like my car crashed, I can call the Italian KFOR. I know they will help me. They will come and they will help me with the car crash and stuff like this. Or even the CIMIC, like the civil military cooperation is Italian civil military cooperation is is very important there, because for example, if they have problems with rivers with agriculture, they can help. They have big machines that they can use for helping the Serbian population. So I think I'm basically satisfied about what the Italian KFOR is doing. Of course, there are some problems, like in Zvečan, there were big protests of the Serbian population, and they get punched with the Italian KFOR. But apart from these negative episodes, apart from this, that is clear. There are, I think, in general, we can say that Italian KFOR is sympathetic with the Serbian population for many episodes that I've seen personally. So,
da li si upoznao nekog od italijanskih vojnika ili pričao sa njima?
Yeah. I met several of them, and they are especially the one in Deceni. They are very involved in the spirituality of the monastery. They participate to the liturgy, for example, and there was also an occasion in which I participated. I don't know. There is some king is buried in the monastery of Deceni. I don't remember the name. I'm sorry,
Stefan
Dechansky is buried in the monastery, and during this liturgy, everyone should kiss the tomb of Stefan Dechansky. And the Italian soldiers came, and everyone kissed the tomb of Stefan Dechansky. So they are involved in the spirituality, and they care about Deceni, and they want to preserve it as they preserved it in the past. But I can tell you that not just the KFOR cares about Serbian people in Kosovo, because there are so many Italian association of volunteers that they want to help the Serbian population, and they did a lot to help the Serbian community in Kosovo, especially in Velika Oča, which is a particular enclave in the south Kosovo and Metohija, which is famous for the wine. And of course, we Italian, we are famous for wine, so we are sympathizing also for this stuff, but. Even the population, the Italian population, sometimes wants to help the Serbian community, and they did a lot. Apart from the institutional, like KFOR and the embassy and stuff like this, sometimes it's the Italian population that creates association and wants to help the Serbian community in Kosovo and Metohija.
Ovo nije jedini primjer dobrih odnosa Srba i Italijana. Čak je u Dalmaciji u prošlom vijeku Italijani su spasili veliku populaciju Srba od genocida. Zašto misliš da su Italijani, za razliku od ostalih naroda, imali taj osjećaj za nepravdu prema Srbima?
I don't really know how to answer this question, but I can assure you that when an Italian meets a Serb, immediately start to sympathize, because somehow we are very similar. Like we have same we can say same behavior, same values, we can say. So there are lots of similarities between our people. So we immediately sympathize each other. So we immediately like each other, and we like each other culture. So we like the Serbian culture, and the Serbians like the Italian culture. So there is something like unite us. For example, if you imagine that a lot of Roman emperors came from Serbia, like it's I didn't know, it's astonishing, but our roots somehow are united from the past, and now it shows with those common behavior, common point of view, common similarities and stuff like this. So I do like Serbia, and I think Serbia likes Italian culture, so it's a nice stuff.
Upoznao si i Pavlinu. I kakav je tvoj osjećaj, kakvo je djetinjstvo na Kosovu i Metohiji?
You mean the children who lives in Kosovo? Orahovac is, I think it's very, very bad situation, even in the Kosovo situation. Like it's a special case. It's a particular case because they're pushing the Serbian community, like we can say in a small part of the city, and they live surrounded by the Albanians, and it's very, very tough situation. I saw many times Orahovac and the Orahovac community, and it's a hard situation, and they are continually harassed by the Albanians, because they don't want them to live there. Basically, they don't want the Serbs to live in Orahovac. So it's a difficult matter, and it's difficult to solve, because how can you change those minds with school system? But Kosovo doesn't have a real school system. Kosovo doesn't have a welfare state. So how can you solve those problems? Like I can tell you, we can educate the children not to hate the Serbs. Okay, but let's see the schools that Kosovo have. Let's see the hospitals that Kosovo has. There's nothing there. So how can you solve this problem? I think it wasn't the right choice to give the independence to Kosovo, because there is no structures, no institutions to guarantee freedom also to the minorities. And Orahovac is an example, because they have bad economical situation, of course, like the rest of the Serbian enclaves, but they live in a very, very strict contact with the Albanian community. It's not like Mitrovica, because in Mitrovica there is the river, and the river is guarded by the Italian troops. So if the Albanians want to come, they come and they harass the people, but it's more difficult. Instead, in Orahovac, they're not isolated from the Albanian. They strict contacts. My house is next to the house of the Albanians, so if they want to harass the Serbian community, they can without any problems. And that's a critical situation in Orahovac.
Pričali smo o ikonama, manastirima. Da li možeš da nam kažeš nešto o tvom novom projektu restauracije na Kosovu i Metohiji?
Yes, in my city, in Turin, there is this big center, international center of restoration. They've restored Jerusalem, the holy burying place of Jesus in Jerusalem, for example. But they did many things all around the world. So they are very, very important international center of restoration that we are proud to host in our city. And we want them to collaborate with the University of Severna Mitrovica, with the students and the post-degree students of University of Pristina, based in Severna Mitrovica. So I want to improve the links between Serbian students in Severna Mitrovica and the Italian students in Turin, because of course the students and all the young people in Kosovo suffer a problem of isolation. They are isolated from not only the country but all over the world. They're isolated from the rest of the world, we can say. So it's a big problem for the Serbian young population. And in order to solve like a bit this problem, we want to let them come in Italy, to let the Italian students come to Severna Mitrovica and like work together, and we'll see if we will have the authorization to restore and to work on monasteries, on frescoes, on icons, on stuff like this. We don't know today, but we will see. Like I think we will, and we will have big results on this, like we have in Velika Hoća, and we'll still want to cooperate with Serbian community and help the Serbian community in Kosovo and Metohija in order to preserve the cultural heritage they built in those lands.
Da li će se stanje u Evropi promijeniti kada govorimo o Kosovu i Metohiji?
It's another hard question, but unfortunately, I don't think so. I don't think they want to take seriously the problem in Kosovo, because there is no political interest in. But I think it will be important to protect the Serbian community and his cultural heritage, because Islamic countries are financing very, very much in Kosovo. They are building mosques and they are improving their influence in Kosovo. We can let them do it, because for Italy, for example, Kosovo is very near to our borders. We can't let them do it. So we must stop that influence. We must do something. And in order to do that, we have to consider the Serbian community, I think. So we have to help the Serbian community, and we have to improve the Serbian cultural heritage in Kosovo and Metohija.
Kakvo je stanje u Italiji, u društvu?
In Italian society, something is changing, because we have a liberal government since the last 10 years. So, but it wasn't elected by anyone. Like it was constitutional right, but they haven't been elected by anyone in Italy. I don't know if in Serbia is known this thing that we speak about freedom so much, and we have a government that wasn't elected in a democratic election since the past 10 years. Now we have this government of Giorgia Meloni, which was finally elected by the people, and she's doing much to change things, to change mentality, to change the assets of the powers in the country. And not only in the country, even in Europe, because she has a recognized international role, recognized by important magazines such as Time and so on. Of course, there is a lot of work to do. We didn't arrive to solve the problems, but we can do much, and we must do much to change things in Europe basically, and in Italy also.
Kakav sistem vrijednosti vlada u italijanskom društvu? Da li su više desno, levo ili ima svega?
I think that the people is conservative. Basically is conservative, the people. The intelligentsia is democratic and liberal and woke, we can say. And they are fighting in order to preserve their powers. For example, in university we have big problems because they do politics in university. They do woke politics in all over the country in university, and I don't think it's democratic, because it's a public university, and of course you can have your political view. I can change your political view as a professor, but you must recognize that not all your students may agree with in what you think. It's not so democratic to make political schools in the university, to make political classes in university. I mean, I want to be, for example, a lawyer or a doctor. I don't want to be brainwashed by your teaching. But I think it's a common problem in all over the Western countries, Western Europe, also America. America has a big problem with that. In the colleges in the US are crazy, are super woke, and they are actively fighting the policies of the people's elected government. I don't know. We'll see. They have their powers. They have sets of powers. University, of course, are one of them, and they are fighting to preserve that. But I think that they will lose, because if you don't have real values, strong values, real values, truth values, you will lose if you don't have that. So I think at the end we will win, and Europe will be great again, and will discover his values and his roots again.
A omladina i studenti, da li su oni više u woke kulturi ili su nacionalno osvješteni?
Also with this, I would say they're, generally speaking, they're conservative. But as I told you in our conversation before, in big cities such as Milan or my city, Turin, in the city center, the very rich guys, very rich young people, I mean, it's fancy to be woke. Like, I think it's the same in Belgrade. You don't want to see like a old man like which believes in God or motherland, stuff like this. You want to see to be modern and to be fancy, and so I'm woke and stuff like this. But it's a minority. I'm minority, I think.
A da li je Evropa i dalje hrišćanska?
It depends on what you mean for Europe. Europe as a continent and Europe as European people, I think yes, especially of course in countries such as Poland or Hungary and Eastern European countries, I think yes. If for Europe you mean European Union and the European institution, of course not, because there was a proposal to when the code of European law were written, there was a proposal to put the Christian values in it. When Ratzinger was Pope, he told it will be a good thing to put Christian values, Christian roots in our code, in our written that says that we are all European. And they didn't accept those proposals. They refused to include the Christian values in the values of the European Union, and that's history. That's fact. Why? Because of course they are against the Christian values. They are against conservatives and traditional values. That's why they don't want in it. But it's a big mistake, because what unites us? Me and you and the Polish and the French and the Spanish, that we are all Christians. That's one of the few things that we have in common. If you exclude that, it's only free market. But there is no a political view only in free market. We want a political Europe, but if there's just a free market, you can't build a political institution. It's just an economical institution. That's why sometimes we are a puppet of foreign powers. We do what others want us to do, even if it's against our interest. Like in Kosovo, like for us Italians, the interest is to calm the Balkan situation, not to have wars in the Balkans, because we are next to the Balkans. It's near our borders. We don't want any problems. And if someone more powerful instead wants problem in the Balkans, we have to say, and we have to obey. And that's a problem.
Da li konzervativizam jača u Americi, pošto je Amerika jača od Evropske unije u nekom, ajde kažem, smislu?
Yes. Conservative in America is increasing because they have a split society. The statistics of the birth in not only in the US but also in Europe, in Western Europe, Eastern Europe also, they are stopping the birth, and that's a problem, because without birth there's no future, and it's an example that a woke society is not the right thing to do, is not sustainable. There's no future in a woke society. So US society is waking up, but at the same time is going to be more split. And that's a problem because it's a risky situation. I don't want to speak about civil war, but it's a problem.
Koliko vera znači mladim ljudima u svijetu, u Evropi, u Italiji?
I think there is a different matter. It depends on the country we are speaking about, because I think the Serbian young people is still more attached to the Christian values rather than Western society, Western young people. Italy is still more conservative for the young people. The young people are more attached to the Christian values, especially in the southern part of the country, because we are, of course, a very ancient country of Catholic tradition. So Catholicism is still strong in Italy, Spain, and southern countries in Europe. But if you think about France, I think Christianity is basically disappeared. Basically, it's a huge minority of French young people that believes in God. It's not just a matter of believing in God, but a matter of asking some question. Like young people nowadays in France, but even in northern Italy, in biggest city in Italy, they don't even asking themselves those questions, like if God exists or not. Is not a question that they put on themselves, like, and this is a problem because it means they're ignorant. Basically, they are basically they don't want to answer to discover the real meaning of life. That's a problem.
Da li postoji nada u optimizam za nove generacije?
Yeah, we must be optimistic. It's a must. We must believe in young generation because we don't have any other options. We must do it. At the same time, I think there are society, especially the Serbian society or other Eastern European society, in which this is more possible. Like church is still part of the society, so they can solve some problem. They can educate young generation. Instead, in countries where the churches are outside the society, it's way more difficult. The Orthodox Church in Serbia is still part of the society, and that's a big value, and you have to preserve it. And I think from Eastern Europe we will have some answer to our problems in Western society. So we have problems, and we will see what's going on in Eastern Europe, and we will have our answers. So Poland, for example, is increasing his economy, doesn't want to be involved in the EU policies, and that's great for them because we see that they are increasing. So it will be good for every part of Europe.
Posljednje pitanje, šta je za tebe kompas pravih vrednosti?
I have three words: God, motherland, and family. These are the true values in which I believe, and I think that those values makes me conservative, and I think it's a common European values that we would all perceive, and we have to gain and to rediscover all over Europe.
Hvala ti puno na razgovoru. Zaista je zadovoljstvo i hvala ti za sve što si učinio za naš narod i dogodine u Prizrenu.
Dogodine u Prizrenu.
Hvala na pažnji, poštovani gledaoci. Podržite naš rad tako što ćete nas zapratiti na našem YouTube kanalu. Lajkujte i dijelite naš sadržaj. Posjetite naš portal kompasinfo.rs, a mi potragu za kompasom pravih vrednosti nastavljamo već u sljedećoj epizodi.